Most of us are very familiar with the term millennial generation, but did you know there's a new generation that was born after the millennials between 1997 and 2012? Yes, you heard me right. Move over, millennials, and make room for Generation Z. So stay tuned to learn how my special guest from this new generation is earning her right to be heard. Hello and welcome to the Career and College Matters show, where we talk about important topics surrounding today's career and college concerns. Our goal is to inform, empower, and inspire you, our viewing audience, with information that can help you discover and achieve true academic and career success. I'm your host, Dr. Mildred Charles, and today I am so honored to have Ms. Jour'dan Haynes here in our studio. Jour'dan Haynes is a 19-year-old member of Generation Z and the creator and co-host of Ask My Dad, a weekly web series that showcases an African-American father and his daughter who share wisdom, love, unity, and peace with each other and their viewing audience. Ask My Dad airs on Instagram TV, aka IGTV, which I just found out about, and blends serious issues with fun and lighthearted topics in a way that young people can actually relate to. In addition to co-hosting Ask My Dad, Jour'dan is also studying business administration at the College of Southern Maryland and is an amazing big sister, a loving daughter, a young woman on a mission to leave a positive mark on the world. Thank you, Jour'dan, for being a guest on the Career and College Matters show.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Well, let's go ahead and get started. It is so obvious you're talented, you're blessed, you're loved, you come from a very loving and supporting family. So can you tell us a little bit about what family means to you?
Okay. Well, first things first, family definitely means a lot to me just because it's the foundation. You know, it really shows like who you are. Mm-hmm. It starts in the home. So if you wanted me to give a little more about my family, go in depth about them, my little sister, she sings. My older sister is a poet. My dad is very motivational and he's also intellectual. But my mother as well is a writer and she's also a great momager, manager.
Okay. That's wonderful. It sounds like your family is it's very eclectic. It's just a very close-knit family.
Yes.
Which is amazing. So how would you say your family has shaped you into who you are today?
So we have like essential life rules that we live by, and it's funny because on my 18th birthday my dad actually gave me a book with his words of wisdom, but before that of course they were just guiding me in the right direction and I was also guiding myself, and my older sister helped a lot well with shaping me into who I am. So I'd say that it's rules that you abide by in life that make you who you are.
Interesting. I mean, that's right there, you're saying so much, because a lot of young girls, including myself, did not, we didn't grow up with a father in the household. Mm. So the fact that your father's so involved and, you can tell that you're daddy's girl, you could just tell that you've got that confidence going, which is beautiful.
Thank you.
So tell us a little bit about this weekly series that you have called Ask My Dad.
So as you said in the intro, Ask My Dad is on IGTV platform, but I host it with my dad. I'm the co-host, the proud co-host. But basically every week it's just catered to adolescents that don't have a father figure, and we're just there to help and show them that you can reach out to us and ask questions if you need the guidance. That's what my father's there for. I've put him on this platform to help those that really need it. And outside of fathers, mothers as well, because there are mothers that abandon their child. We are there to help you and give you the advice that you need, some type of closure in a sense.
That's beautiful. And again, it just sounds like you and your dad, it's, your father with, your sisters, both your sisters, that is just, it's, nowadays it's so refreshing to see that. So
Yes.
how did you go to him about the show idea, or did he come to you? How did you guys come about?
I went to him because my friends go to my dad a lot for advice, which I found interesting. And I was like, you know what? I need to put my dad on a platform.
Wow.
Clearly more people need to reach him.
Wow.
So it's about that time.
Wow. So when did you actually start the show?
In 2017 is when
Okay.
we originally started, and then we took a break from the season just to re-image things and started back up in 2018, and then that lasted a little while as well. But one thing, I'm very impulsive, so if something's not like spot on, I want to change it. So then
Okay.
again, I did a little more re-imaging, and we started up in 2019.
Wow. So what are some of the topics that you talk about on the show?
Relationships, sex.
Oh, wow. Okay. So you talk to your dad about that stuff?
Yes.
Wow. You've got an interesting dad. Okay. And you guys talk about, okay, so you said relationships.
Sex, education, fundamentals, financial literacy, things of
Wow.
that nature.
So is it more like a conversation that you're having with your dad, and then it becomes like, public available to your listening?
Yes, but we
Okay.
also do take questions as well. So those are pre-recorded. Instead of just having the conversation going, we like think of how we'd like to answer these questions before filming.
Okay, okay. So the questions, how do you get the questions?
Through DM or email.
And please, for those people like myself who don't know what DM is, we just figured it out.
DM is direct message.
Okay.
And then I know you know what email is, correct?
Yes, I figured that one out. So yeah, no, I'm sorry, audience. I just told on myself. So direct messaging, right? And then, so they're sending questions. Where do you get the, are they from the DMV area, or is it open to like?
It's open to anyone.
Okay, okay.
But I think we get a lot of our messages DMV wise. We've had a few people in Atlanta and Massachusetts and things of that nature, but it's been more DMV.
So tell the audience about your favorite show that you've done, that one, or the most memorable show that you've recorded.
Does it have to be like most memorable, or
No,
like
it could
the
be-
favorite moment?
Yeah, the favorite moment. How
Okay,
about that?
so the comments.
Okay.
The comments are my favorite thing. We did one, I don't know if I can curse on here.
Oh no, you can't.
Okay. Okay, well, does that crank was a segment that we did, and my dad was basically rating different song choices that I had gave him. And the people in the comments were like, oh my God, I love his feedback. I want him to rate my song. I want him to give feedback on my song. And I was
wow.
just like, wow, it was just so funny. And people were actually DMing their songs for the next segment that we were going to have.
Wow. So that I can see why your friends are, taken to your dad. He seems
Yes.
like, how would you describe your dad? Is he like a cool dad, or
I'd say
how
he's
would-
pretty cool. I mean, like one comment was, oh, your dad likes the baby. He's awesome. And I love the baby. So
The what?
he's a local rapper.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
It's
okay.
okay. So he's cool in my book.
Okay.
I put him, check, cool.
That's
in the cool
good.
box.
So does he know like some of the rap music too, or is
Yes.
this- okay. Well, that's a beautiful thing. So I know it's pretty clear that you love your dad. So if you had to say something other than "Dad, I love you," what would you tell your dad?
He is literally one of the smartest people on this planet.
Wow.
Yes,
That's beautiful.
definitely.
So,
I tell him all the time, I don't need to look in a dictionary. I don't need to scour the internet for information, because 9 times out of 10, he knows.
wow, I feel sorry for your future husband. He's got some big shoes to fill. So, but this has been a pleasure. So what we'll do is we'll get ready for our next segment, where we will actually have the opportunity to hear from her father, who is going to help us, talk about, why he is helping his daughter find her voice. Thank you so much. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Career and College Matters show, where we talk about important topics surrounding today's career and college concerns. I'm your host, Dr. Mildred Charles, and joining me for this segment is none other than Mr. Aljin Haynes. Aljin Haynes is a husband, a father, a speaker, a writer, an amateur photographer, a reader, a naturalist, and so much more, as you can tell. And he spends most of his time admiring the potent power of nature and being present for his family. Aljin works as an IT professional for the U.S. government and is a participant of today's gig economy. As a proud father of 3 daughters, 2 are members of Generation Z, and the oldest is a millennial. Mr. Haynes is also the co-host of an online series called Ask My Dad. The series is focused on the relationship between him and all his children, but more specifically his daughter Jour'dan. Aljin takes pride in rendering wisdom to his children, advising those in need, and partnering with his wife Christine on this journey called life. Thank you, Mr. Haynes, for being a guest on this show.
Thank you so much for having us and for having my daughter.
Wow, just from the previous segment, your daughter speaks so incredibly.
I think she gives me way too much credit.
No, I mean, you know, that sounds like it's coming from her heart, and it's just so beautiful to see the love and admiration that she has for you as her father.
Thank you.
So it's clear you're part of a unique family.
Thank you.
You know, and so that being said, can you tell us a little bit about what family actually means to you?
Oh, I mean, that's the core of everything. I mean, if you don't have family, you don't have anything. I mean, where is your identity? Who are you as a person? Yeah. If you don't have the people who give you the core values of the identity you're going to have for the rest of your life. So family is very important.
Wow.
I mean, from the ground up.
From the ground up. So I'm curious, did you grow up in a similar environment that was loving and close-knit, or is this something you...
It's just something that came to me. I didn't know my father.
Wow.
At all. I was raised by my paternal grandfather and my paternal grandmother. So we were close-knit family. So I had a lot of aunts and uncles. So that's really where I felt most of the camaraderie and the sense of family from.
So at what point in your life did you say, when I have children, I'm going to do differently?
Oh, I mean, right before my first daughter was born.
Okay.
I just knew that I had to do things as differently as I possibly could, that I had to share with them some of the things that my grandfather shared with me, so that they would have that kind of wisdom as they got older. I mean, I've been talking to them since they were in their mother's womb, so
wow.
You know, that's the way to go.
You're definitely different. That is amazing. And in your opinion, the role of a father is what?
I mean, society will tell you you're supposed to be a protector and a provider and things of that nature. The truth is you're supposed to be either a voice when they need you, or a silent warrior when they have their own voice. It's important that you stand behind them and give them the support that they need. It's important that you sometimes allow them to burn themselves on a hot pot and realize that there's cruelty in the world, but there's also beauty.
Wow.
So I think that's the real ambition of being a father. It's not always about being a tyrant.
That's beautiful. I can see why Jour'dan and her friends look up to you for advice. And so tell us a little bit about the show, Ask My Dad. How did you feel when she came up to you and she said, hey, Dad, you know?
I'm a background person.
Okay.
Yeah, I never thought that, you know, we'd be in front of a screen together. So, but she was very adamant about it, very passionate about it. She wanted to, you know, have an outreach platform where people could, you know, send us emails and send us DMs to talk about.
You mean direct messages?
Exactly.
Okay.
To talk about what directly affected them and how they could, you know, have a voice for it. So she convinced me, and then we've been going ever since.
Wow. So, you know, given all that young people are dealing with today, how do you see this platform contributing to, you know, just the pressures that they deal with as young people?
Well, it gives them the opportunity to not live in silence. That is the most dangerous thing, you know, keeping things hidden. And just at some point, you know, that kind of emotional explosion can lead to a plethora of destructive things. So I think this gives them the opportunity to not only just talk to us through DMs and emails, but also talk to their friends and create circles where they can share, they can have that kind of resource.
And, you know, it sounds like a safe environment to go to because, you know, as you know, most young people, and especially girls, they don't have that father figure.
That's true.
And so the fact that you're able to provide that for them, you know, that just says so much about you. So what did your, you know, family and your friends, your coworkers say when, you know, they heard that you were going to do this show?
There are a couple of coworkers that watch the show at the job. They think it's hilarious because you know we have a very comfortable dynamic with each other.
Yes.
You know, we're kind of silly on camera and silly off camera. We have outtakes and intakes, so it allows everybody to be comfortable.
Yes.
We're not so rigid, so that way when our conversation comes, it's more authentic and people can really relate to it. But they like it.
Yeah, I mean, some of the topics that Jour'dan was mentioning that you guys talk about, I can't even imagine talking to my dad about that. I mean, just relationship, sex, I'm like, no. And then I grew up in a Catholic environment, so
Well, yeah,
you really can't get away with that.
Of course.
So, but that openness, what do you think that does for your daughter, the fact that you're raising daughters? How does that, you know?
Well, they have private lives.
Okay.
You know, I know that there are things that they will and will not tell me. That's where their mom comes in, and she's supposed to have that relationship with them, and I appreciate that about her because she can handle the things that I obviously can't touch.
Absolutely.
But I appreciate the fact that they can come to me about things.
So as we get ready to wrap up this segment, what is your message to other fathers who would want to work with their daughters, specifically daughters, in a similar capacity? Or
Well, first, sit them down in the corner and tell them, you can tell me anything. Tell me something I haven't heard. Tell me something I don't know about you. And let's reconnect or connect even further and take that conversation to different places.
so it's more so about communication
And listening.
and listening. Okay, all right. And that's something that we don't do enough. And you find that being, you know, the secret to the success that you have.
Absolutely, because I learned more about my daughter doing this show than, you know, she probably would have told me in a private life.
Well, that's awesome. So we're going to actually have her back on for our final segment. And in our final segment, we will, again, as I mentioned, have Jour'dan and her father. They're going to be back on talking about, you know, how they are equally committed to creating positive images about African American fathers in today's society. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
I don't remember how it started. Our back and forth. Victory. Fumble. Repeat. It always came back.
Okay, here we go, throw it!
You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
Nice.
Welcome back to the Career and College Matters show, where we talk about important topics surrounding today's career and college concerns. Joining me for this final segment are Mr. Aljin Haynes and his amazing daughter, Jour'dan Haynes. And they both are co-hosts of Ask My Dad, which is a weekly web series that showcases an African-American father and his daughter talking about topics such as sex, relationships, trauma, and politics. Welcome back, both of you. Thank you so much for being here. So as we close the last segment, I had asked you about the importance of that, you know, promoting positive images of fatherhood. So Jour'dan, I wanted, you know, you spoke so highly about your dad. Why is it important for you to help create this image?
Because in media, it's definitely portrayed that fathers are either locked up, doing things they're not supposed to, again, not being involved in their child's life, and just everything that's negative and not enough positivity.
So was that that was the main reason why you went to your dad? Because you wanted to, I mean, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but why did you feel that, coming to your dad about this show idea was so important?
Like I told you the first segment about like my friends always asking for
yes.
advice. So that's like another reason as well, but definitely the media ties in too because they're not crap.
Not very positive.
There we go.
Yes,
Very
okay.
positive.
That's the word I'm
Yeah.
looking for.
Okay. And so what about you, Mr. Haynes? How important is it for you to not portray, but to convey that message to other fathers?
Well, I agree with her. It's that when you turn on media, you're not going to find a lot of positive black male images. So I think it was important for her to make sure that because she's in a household where she has one, and thank you for thinking that, by the way, that there is more of that out there, and a lot more than is being generally told. And I think it was very important for her to put that out there so that people could have, this idea that, there are functioning black families, and, we should know more about them.
Absolutely. So what is it like working together to produce this show?
I think we have a good dynamic. We're
absolutely silly.
Right. We're silly.
Absolutely silly.
And
with
we
each
jump
other.
off of each other when it comes to figuring out what we're going to record the next week. So
Right.
That's awesome. So can you tell us about your viewing, can you tell our viewing audience, like if they wanted to tune in, how do they get, information about your show?
Okay, you tune in every Sunday morning at 9 o'clock. It's a weekly web series on IG television.
Okay.
And you can just kind of log on, put it in the search, Ask My Dad, and we'll pop up, and then you can start watching. And there are videos that are there. We've erased one season because we wanted to reimage a lot of things, but
Right.
currently you'll find the current season on there, so you'll find different segments that you can log into.
And how long are the segments?
I think we're doing like 13 to 15 minutes. Yeah, We're
Yes.
not that very long, because IGTV only gives you a certain amount of time.
yes.
Okay, about 13.
We're looking into a platform where we can get more time.
Okay. What are you hoping to, what's the next level, for your show?
Sorry, something was in my eye.
It's okay.
The next level is definitely to branch off into television. We're thinking a lot of black networks like Aspire, BET, OWN, things of that nature.
I can definitely see it going, national, like beyond, your wildest dreams, because I think just the dynamics, you coming from this loving, supportive family, and because there's such a need for this type of content, just talking about, all these different, topics, which is wonderful.
Yes.
We talked earlier about you being a member of Generation Z, and I'm curious, with you being a member, what is kind of like a message that you would give to your generation about pursuing their goals, pursuing their dreams?
So I would say try everything. You have nothing but time when you're younger, so just try everything you can get your hands on, different careers, different mediums. If you want to be an artist, just anything. And then one day you'll wake up and realize that you've been doing the same thing for a few months or a few years and understand that it's going to be a stable career for you. I mean, over time, things may definitely change, because I know when I was younger, around like 13, I wanted to be an avatar. I don't know if you guys remember that movie, the blue hybrids running around, but yeah, that's what I wanted to do.
That's
So I
a great
wanted to-
career goal.
It's an interesting
right?
phase.
Yes, but clearly over time that changed. So that's what I would tell Generation Z, just try everything.
And I'm sure with your dad, he probably says, honey, you can do it.
Yeah.
You can
Absolutely.
be an avatar, right?
You got to stand behind them.
Yes, right? Just let him just go, right?
Absolutely.
So that's wonderful. And so you talked, we didn't get a chance to talk about your other sisters. You have an amazing family, obviously. So tell us a little bit about your younger and your older sister, which means you're a middle child, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Sadly. But Ramsey, she sings and her voice is beautiful.
Yes.
Absolutely
She's
beautiful.
angelic.
Yes, for how young she is, it's crazy. And she has a song out right now called Love is a Game that my dad is also featured on.
Oh, isn't that beautiful?
It's one voice song.
Oh, wow. And how old is she again?
Nothing iconic, I assure you.
How old is Ramsey?
13.
Wow, 13 years old. You are doing an amazing job with your daughters.
We both are.
Okay.
We both are, because Mama Jour is definitely doing her
Absolutely.
doing her part.
Yes,
That's for sure.
yes, absolutely. And then your older sister?
Janelle, she's a poet. All her writings can be found on Instagram at @GDeniseWrites.
Okay.
Yes, she's been doing that for very many years now.
That's about 10 or 12 years.
Yeah.
She's doing that, 10 or 12 years.
Wow.
Very potent speaker.
Yes.
She has a lot to say, but
A lot to say.
be prepared for her scathing authenticity.
Okay,
That's for
that's
sure.
interesting. So that's your sisters. Now, the core also of the family is your wife, your mom, who is just an amazing individual. She believes in you both. She's very supportive. Just, tell the audience a little bit about your mom.
Okay, my mom gives it to us raw. That's the first thing I love about her. Okay, she's not going to sugarcoat anything.
Wow.
Earlier, when she was arguing with him about the jacket, she was like, "No to the jacket. I don't know. You can ask." It's just funny that she's
But
just
it
so
passed.
raw. It passed.
Fast.
So, but she's amazing and she's beautiful and she's talented. Her
Indeed.
writings are it's magnificent. You have to read some of the things that she has wrote.
So you guys are just an amazing family. I'm just so honored to have
you.
this opportunity. And as we get ready to close, I just always ask my guest to tell us, in your own words, why is it important to love what you do and do what you love? And
Life
very
is
quickly.
entirely too short to not be doing what you love. So that's how I give it. I'm giving it straight. It's just too short for you to not do what you love. You need to have passion in something. You want to leave a legacy, a mark.
Absolutely.
You're not doing
Amazing.
anything that actually soothes your soul. That's something that you can breathe in deep and know that this is what I'm using to make a mark in the world. If you're not doing that, you're not doing anything.
It's beautiful. Well said. You guys are just, again, thank you so much for being
Thank you
guests on
for
the
having
show.
us. Thank you.
Well, that's our show for today. We want to thank our wonderful studio guest, Aljin Haynes, and his wonderful daughter, Jour'dan Haynes. We also want to thank our amazing crew. We have the best crew here at PGC TV. I love them. They're just amazing. And especially, we want to thank you, our viewing audience. We hope that you found the information that we shared useful and valuable. So thank you so much for watching. And don't forget to do what you love and love what you do. Bye for now.
I can do this.
We believe in you.
Every day, millions of people celebrate recovery from addiction and mental illness while others begin their journey. Be a part of it. Join the Voices for Recovery. Together, we are stronger. For confidential information and treatment referral for mental and substance use disorders, call 1-800-662-HELP.
After 15 years of smoking, Eva Marie quit. There's a new lung cancer screening that could save her life. You stopped smoking. Now start screening. Learn more at savedbythescan.org.